Hello, hello. Welcome back. We're gonna catch up, see why Tyson is the angry boy. But, he's always like that though. I wandered out and followed the sounds of an angry muttering upstairs to the conservatory. Ty? What? He spun in quickly to look me over, breathing hard. Just seeing if you're okay. Yeah, I'm fine. Fuck off. Shit, sorry, I didn't mean that. After what we talked about yesterday, yeah, I know. But still, you're not acting like yourself. What's going on? Nothing, just a headache. What's wrong with you? I'm fine, honest, just tired. That's fucking bullshit and you know it, Dave. I mean it, I'm fine. I'm just talking with a rat who's cool and great. He stomped over, grabbing me roughly by the shoulders and narrowing his gaze as he leans into check. You passed out and expect me to believe you're just fine? I do, I promise. Ty, it's just, I don't know what it is. Maybe I just ate too much. I ate too fast or something. Maybe everything's just catching up to me. If you're fucking lying to me, I swear. Swear what? That you'll hit me? Look, I'm worried. I don't know what's going on, and all I know is that this headache is damn bad. What kind of headache? The kind that makes your head hurt? What kind of question is that? Well, I've been having headaches too. Maybe not as bad, but they're not fun. Oh yeah? What are they like? My head starts to hurt, but they go away pretty quick. It's weird though. Mostly random, but mostly like whatever I think about the vault. Maybe it's stress. Mine's different. He cut in the moment I stopped talking. Like most mornings I feel like they're drilling into and against my skull. That bad? Why? If I knew why my head was ringing like this, do you think I'd be bullshitting right now? He seemed crazed, almost feral. He was snippier than normal. And that hunch in his shoulder wasn't helping his image. I didn't quite understand what was happening, but something wasn't right. Would sleep help? I don't fucking know. Maybe. Well, you're swearing more than usual, so you're either hungry or tired. He hooked an arm around my neck and started grinding his knuckle against my head as he held me in a vice grip against his chest. Well, he hasn't done that in a while, has he? Okay, I'm sorry, stop. Relenting for a few moments, he eventually let go and stepped back while I tried to fix my already messy fur in vain. Yeah, maybe. Maybe I'm just tired. Could be the bed. Could be. Fuck if I know. If it's your bed, do you want to use mine? And just see if that helps? Nah, I'll just go find a quiet room and lounge in. If it's the bed's, then just using another one isn't going to help. Well, if you're sure, the offer's still there. Yeah, I know. Thanks. At least my head isn't hurting so bad now. Sometimes it's real bad during the night, but I'll manage. Rest up while we talk. We'll talk later. Before I do, you sure you're alright? Yeah, why? 'Cause something's bothering you. I can tell by your nose that you've got something running through your head. Tell me. You know what? Forget it. I don't want to be lied to right now, and I doubt you want to tell me the truth anyway. It's fine. Sorry, Ty. Soon, maybe. Whatever. I stepped aside as he wandered out of the conservatory and out of sight, breathing out. So it was a headache? You really think that? I don't know what he. Maybe the worst thing in the world imaginable for Dave is a headache. I don't know how to spell headache. What is... Okay. I don't know what to think, but if he's in pain, I hope he's feeling better soon. Better question. Think that's a clue to whatever it is you need to figure out? Who knows? Could be. Might not be. Surprised he bailed before he had a chance to spill the beans, though. Like he'd believe if I had told like he'd believe I had a talking rat hiding in my pocket. Might have if he showed him. Probably the best that this way anyway. Tell me something. You know what the Volt's visions and stuff, right? Yeah, why? And you know who has and hasn't used the Volt? Of course. Can Ty use it? Could that be where his headaches are coming from? Sorry to disappoint you, but no dice. He's not coded in. Well, who is? Why do you want to know? I just want to double check. Easy. A few people, but not everyone that has it. Wait, what? A few people are, but not everyone that has accessed it. Okay. You and Orlando have both gotten something out of it. Others not so much, despite being coded in. Really? Who else? Doesn't matter. Related back to the testing of when it was built, neither of the two have used it, and you can take that to the bank. If it doesn't matter, then why not just tell me anyway? Fine. If it was Oswin and his sister, happy? Neither of them have used it at all? How do you know? One of them tried, but didn't get the words right. Gave up soon after, and I'll give you 2 guesses as who that was. That's okay, but how do you know? I have my ways. I was around at the time it was brought online. I give him a funny look, frowning. And how old are you again? Last time I heard anything about how long rats live was only a few years. What'd I tell you? God of death, can't die. Right, so what does that leave us? Next up would be the dragon, unless you feel like you've gotten everything you need from this already. No, I'd rather not take the chance and get everything in order. Suits me fine. I'll be listening in, but don't expect me to help interrogate him. When I got to the rec room, I could hear the sounds of a game being played, along with the sound of muttering coming from inside. No surprise that when I entered, I could see Orlando focused on the screen before him. Hey, Orlando. Dave? He spun around to greet me quickly. Oh no, I'm on that shit again, aren't I? Where I'm messing... Fuck. Half fumbling with the controller to pause his game before scrambling to his feet to rush over to me. What happened? Are you alright? Yeah, I'm fine. Blacking out is not fine, Dave. Look. Blacking out is normal. Semi. Look. It's nothing to be concerned about. I should know. It's only happened like a couple times. It was fine. It was probably tied to exhaustion. The funny part was that my professor, after I told him that I blacked out and that's why I didn't show up to class, he kind of just stared at me, nodded, and went, "The way you describe your lifestyle, that makes sense." And then he excused the absence for that day. Like, what a cool teacher. You didn't just black out. You were solidly unconscious for... How long have you been up for? A little bit. Then you've been unconscious for hours. You should still be in bed resting. Orlando's kind of... I mean, he cute. Like, he's a charming young lad. But, like... I don't know. I would totes be friends with him. But... I don't think I would date this man. Granted, it's like, would I date anybody? I don't know. It's probably why I like Tyson's route. It's because it's like, you are and you're not. It's kind of And you can push it either way. Like, I could have went like, we're brothers, and like not had it not be romantic, but I'm like, you know, it's fiction, so I'm allowed. But if I was in bed for a few hours, what good will bedtime do for me now? Good for me, whatever. Orlando huffs, throwing his arms up and shaking his head. Do you at least know what caused it? I don't really know. It's just something that's happened more frequently. You've been blacking out and no one's noticed? No, I mean, just feeling a bit off. Like, not sick, just strange. It's maybe got something to do with the Volt or what's been going on. I just don't know. Could be stress. Have you been messing with the Volt lately? A little, but like, nothing more than normal, I think. Why? How much is little? How much is a little? Like a few words, but that's it. I figured what would be the harm if I just lucked into something. You're not Roswell, Dave. Don't expect to have his luck just because it'd be convenient. Although, boy would it be convenient right now. What is it like for you using the Volt? Not the visions part, but the rest. Scary. What about after? After, you know, I don't really remember. Nothing too out of the ordinary, I think. Obviously, when it happened, it was kind of like blacking out, but was maybe only for a couple minutes, like a hallucination. And anything else? Should there be? What have you been through? Mostly the same, although, I don't know. Something's not adding up, but I just can't place what it is. Between what and what? If it's anything like a puzzle, let me have a go. Well, I was just talking to Tyson, right? Didn't that seem odd to you? I was just talking to Tyson, right? And okay. He was being a... Oh, so does it remember? Okay, that's kind of neat. It, like, remembers that I talked to Tyson first. I wonder how that changes the dialogue. Like, if I talk to Orlando first, would I bring up my conversation with Orlando to Tyson? He was being a huge jerk, complaining that the TV was too loud. Yeah, that's about as much as I got before blacking out. I'm telling you, something's got up in the wrong side of his bed this morning. I haven't seen him that bad in years. Almost thought we were back in school. He was just as irritable when I went to go talk to him. Almost seemed a little feral, you know, more than usual. What did you do? Nothing, just asked what was wrong, and he said he had a headache, then suggested he go and take a nap. Still, the less like a monster he is, the better. Monster? We writing that one down. Like, I guess that would be like a fear of Dave's, that like his friends kind of become, oh, because the event with Sal in the other timeline, like Sal kind of became a monster and murdered Dean and Roswell, so like maybe a monster. Too much else to be stressed, and lately to have him adding to the mix. Well, he'll be fine. He's just Tyson. Well, so long as we don't have any trouble with him, we should be fine. How likely that, though, really? Orlando gestured back to his game, shaking his head. I have enough wolves to deal with in my video game without needing to worry about dealing with a real deal. With what I know of Tyson, he's, well, volatile. Got it. Got there. He's not that bad, but maybe I just know how to deal with it. Anything that might apply to video games? To be honest, I've tried little other things over than Solar. He's not a werewolf. He's just a good boy. Something. He's a good boy. Can you, I don't know, give them chicken or brushes? I'm not reminded just how different in games taste we have. I don't know. I'm now reminded just how different in game tastes we have, Dave. Shaking his head with a sigh, he gestured wide towards the game he had paused on the screen. Not too late to change that, though. Want to have a try? Could even try playing multiplayer if you want. No. I should probably take a page from Tyson's book and go have a rest. If I black out before, maybe I should take it easy after all. So much for sticking together. We were fine by yourself, mostly. Okay, that's fair. Still, if you change your mind, you'll know where I out. Blah 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 blah. Orlando wandered back over to his game, and I nodded to myself, wandering back to my room to mull things over. Okay, so he didn't have much to say, did he? You think so? Tell me one thing that he told us that would have been useful. I'll wait. Well, he did say that blacking out happens when he used the Volt. True. Blackout? Team Blackout? From Cardfight Vanguard? Overdress! Man, I wish that anime was, like, good. Oh no, I'm gonna get a bunch of hate. I know a lot of people really like Overdress, and I was just like, she kind of sucks. The characters suck. I don't know. Yu Yu is just not an engaging protagonist. Like, I'm kind of amazed going all the way back to Aichi. And it's like, damn, this protag-kun, he's so good. Like, he does everything he needs to, and he's not like super OC do not steal, because that's Chrono. Which makes G significantly worse, but I don't hate G, but you know, Chrono is not Aichi. And Aichi just had the cuter phrase, you know? Tachiagare, boku no bushin, blasta blero. He's great. I don't like playing Royal Paladins though, so I don't actually like play blasters. I think the only Paladin deck I own is Altmile, because I do like Altmile. I don't know, I look at Alfred and Gantz a lot, and I'm just like, man, I just don't think I'd have fun playing this. But then I look at Altmile, and I'm like, damn, look at those abs. Man, they just out. Look at this man's. I wish Altmile was better, though. True. He did pass out on the floor when he got the Volt working, too. You saw it happen? Watched the whole thing. Word went in, he wobbled a bit and fell over. Woke up minutes later, spooked. That's basically what happened to me, but it wasn't at the Volt, so why did I black out? Who knows? Delayed reaction, maybe? Why do you say that? That thing Orlando saw isn't due to what happened for a bit anyway. He's fretting about something that hasn't happened yet. Wait, what? Hold on. Yeah, I know what the things are you can see. Know the words, too. That's literally impossible. They're coded in with DNA, aren't they? Maybe I'm just special. Or you're lying just to make me worry. I could do any number of things to make you worry without needing to make something up. Either way, our investigation is over now. Wait, no. I want to know how you can see the Volt visions. Maybe I'll tell you later, but not until we're done. You just said we're not proper done until we put what we found out to the test. Downstairs. It's time for the Volt already? We still have so much of the day left to go. And I have things I need to do. Already probably worried Benny Boy and Oswin enough being out. You already know what's in the Volt, so do I have enough? Maybe a pep talk, but yeah. You've got everything you need. Do I have everything I need? With Thanatos in my pocket, I started to head downstairs. I was nervous, a little worried about what was waiting for me down in the basement. Hello, Dave. Oh, Roswell, where did you come from? Oh, around. Did you end up finding Oswin? Yep. That's when I've been pretty much all day. And that went well? We played chess, discussed science, nothing all that interesting to anyone other than myself, really. Did you do magic? Tried. He didn't seem all that interested, although put up with it. Only just left his company, really. He said he needed a break. Oh, so what are your plans now? Dunno. Maybe I'll find Orlando and see if he needs help making dinner tonight. Maybe I'll go find Benson and see what he's doing. A lot of where I find myself now is just waiting, But waiting for what? It sounds bad, but I guess the next bad thing to happen. I want to be ready, and I think I am the best at as I can be shy of having a weapon. Do you think it'd come to that? We have Benson to help. Exactly. But that's why I'm considering going to find him. Maybe he can lend me help, a baton or something, just to help, just in case I need it. Not a gun or something? Oh, no thanks. I don't think I'll be able to handle the recoil on most things. What about you, though? What are you up to? Oh, nothing. Nothing, huh? Did Orlando and Tyson things sort itself out eventually? Sort of. Tyson went to go for a nap, and Orlando ended up getting to play his game in peace, so... which means you're about to go down to the vault. What? How can you tell? To be honest, when he said you were investigating that seems to be the only logical conclusion. After all, what else would drive you to want to investigate literally anything at this point? I have people I want to keep safe and alive, Roswell, including you. So long as your plan isn't to stop living, trying to save the rest of us, that's fine by me. No point in wasting away when there might not be any danger to begin with. Right. But guess while I've got you here, what sort of thing do you fear? Excuse me? Just, in case it gives me an idea of what to try. Instead, why don't you tell me what, about this blackout I heard about? Oh, did Orlando tell you? Something to that effect. I'm fine, honest, just stress, I guess. That's what it's gotta be. I don't really buy that, but alright. You'd know better than me, anyway. What was happening at the time? Just Tyson and Orlando fighting. It was strange. Nothing like that had happened before, even before the mansion. Is it something to be concerned about? You say it's stress, but until someone can tell me I'm sick, then that's all it can be, right? So long as it wasn't something more outward, untoward. I know that word showed up before, and I kind of just brushed off the fact that I didn't know what it said, but this time... Untoward. Untoward? Unexpected and inappropriate or inconvenient. Okay. My vocabulary expanding. I guess you're right, still. He scratched his chin before shaking his head and sighing out. Well, best of luck downstairs. See you at dinner. Sure. See you later, Roswell. After I watched Roswell disappear upstairs, I sighed out too. But that's when I heard Xanatos. Xanatos? Oh man. Is that like the man of my dreams? Xanatos? Because he's pretty great. But I also think, like, as far as gargoyle characters are concerned, like, Brooklyn's the best, right? Like, he's just, you know. Yeah. After I watched Roswell disappear upstairs, yeah, I heard him snickering. Okay, Thanatos, talk. What was so funny? You really let him get away with that? Oh my god. Where's my water? Jesus. Get away with what? He didn't want to tell you what he was afraid of, did he? You didn't want to call him out on it? Well, I guess I just assumed that it was someone... If someone changed the subject that doesn't want to talk about whatever. So you're not an idiot. You're just bloody naive. What's that supposed to mean? I'm just being polite. Fine, suit yourself. We have more important things to do now, anyway. He escaped my hoodie and strode up to the large door in front of us, looking it over. What do you think? About what? About the password. Moment of truth, after all. I approached the keypad, fingers hovering over the keys. Well, go on. Where do I even begin? Can tell you that whatever you need to put in relative to those friends of yours, you know, the two that you walked in on. Tyson and Orlando? Got it in one. What you said earlier, about knowing what's in the vault, how is that possible? Call it Deus Ex Machina. Turning to like Demiurge? I'm gonna stack 12 cards on top of my deck. That card just sounds terrible. Deus Ex Machina Demiurge? Like, he looks dope as shit, though. Like, I think Obari illustrated that card. Bruh. But he's so sexy. But, like, at the end of, like, Vanguard G Stride Gate, when they activate the effect of Demiurge, and it's just like, that's it? Really? You get to stack 2 triggers on your deck, and your opponent can't call grade 1s? Oh, because that aged real well. Garbage card, but I should probably buy one just because it looks real sexy. Turning to the keypad with a frown, I tried to think it over. If you're not going to be of any help, let's see. If the vision related to Tyson and Orlando, how would Thanatos know? Could I even trust him? He said before that he had no reason to make something up. Why he knows wasn't important as we knowing. If anything, that's the one thing that had remained constant throughout the day. There was no changing the fact that I was here in front of the vault now. Though, I may as well try putting something in. You're doing some thinking, eh? Shush, I'm concentrating. Fear, trauma. These were things that seemed to constantly be thrown in my face, whatever the vault came up. But if these were my fears and my traumas, how was I meant to know which one was the strongest? Especially if it's something yet to happen. Well, this is dire. Well, you're not helping. You bring me down here and put me on the spot and things. It's your genetic memory. Why is it my fault? You're a monster keeping this from me. My friends could die if I don't get this right. If I told you, it wouldn't happen. Not as if this is the first time around the block, eh? Not my first time. You've done this before. You sure you don't know what to put in there? I look at the input panel and felt a sharp pain in my head. Massacre. Back then, it was just something that Benson had said offhandedly, but it was enough to make me worry. I saw what happened, or what would have happened had I not known, but now. That's really the best you can do? The password expired days ago. The last time it was something Benson said, I think, about sleepwalking. But he said it all the same. So one of them must have said it. Tyson was just annoyed, and something about a headache, which meant Tyson was just annoyed and said something about a headache. Tyson said it? I shook my head, trying to think of anything that might help. He might have said. All that I could remember was that his knuckle grinding wasn't getting. I don't know. I can't do this. Then whatever happens is your fault. Your cowardly dragon friend and that feral wolf too. He's not feral. You sure about that? If I was certain. Like, I kind of thought it was monster. But now I'm... Like, I think it's that. But... Maybe something... Because Benson only said massacre once. And I thought it was sleepwalking back then as well. So... Not feral? They mentioned werewolf, right? Like, Orlando used the word werewolf when talking about Tyson. But he only said it once, so... If I was certain I could move fast enough, I'd punt him across the room, but I didn't want to risk getting bitten. Come on, Junior, time's ticking. Breathing in through my nose, I brushed my fingers over the buttons to the panel. I caught a glimpse of my reflection in the screen, figuring now was a good time to try to input something. I looked over to Thanatos, who seemed to sigh out. What? You're close, at least. I'll give you that much. Sure. That's all you're getting from me, though. Can't be just giving you the answer, can I? Feral? I looked over at the Sam to thought, what? You're close, at least. I'll give you that much. Blackout? Oh, okay, so he doesn't say anything there. I know I just tried that, but I'm like... Okay. Sucker. Well done, sucker. That's... Did I fuck up? Was I not supposed to use the password? Much like before, I blacked out, conscious only of me falling to the floor, but not registering me landing. But this time was different, stronger maybe. I could feel coldness. Maybe it was just my mind playing tricks on me, but I could feel something like it was all the same. It was like opening my eyes slowly as if I was learning to use them for the first time. But then I saw it, rather than just a flash, something stronger, as if I were standing there in the moment. Oh. I could feel a different kind of cold as my eyes sight on him. I couldn't quite smell it, but with how much there was, no doubt that it'd be the only thing I could smell in the air. At the edge of my vision, I could barely make out the distinctive yellow of Orlando's scales in the dim light, but he was there, or rather, what was left of him. It burned itself into my mind, and I had to gasp for air as the room came back into focus. Sure enough, I was on the floor, splayed out on my back with my head pounding with a newfound headache. Had I hit my head, or had it just been a case of what I... Oh, I should probably remove now all of those not answers, so I'm not cluttering up my notes. Okay. I did it. Not first try, but we got there. Sure enough, I was on the floor, splayed out. Yeah, okay. Either way, it was a struggle to move, even fueled by wanting to intercept Tyson. Thanatos? Rolled onto my side, I saw him standing there, leaning on something. Help, I've got to stop Tyson. He's gonna... As my vision began to focus in on the thing he was leaning on, I trailed off. Once more my blood going cold. Was hoping you'd be awake by the time I got back. I snatched the license he was leaning on, setting up and staring at the picture in a daze. Parts were chewed upon, but everything important was still intact. Before I forget, you're in luck now. Full moon isn't. How did you get this? I gestured to the license, clutching it desperately in both hands as I looked down at him. What was left here? It's my dad's license. Yeah, and he was here. What do you mean? What do you mean he was here? Oi, don't yell at me if you want me to explain. Let's see. Rocked up in civvies, wanted to talk to Oswin. Looks pretty grim if you ask me. What did they talk about? Don't know. Don't care. Look, all I can tell you is that I saw him, and he looked like someone marching to his death. Left here sometime a few hours later in a uniform. And he left his license behind? Sure seems that way. My mind raced, momentarily forgetting to the Volt Vision in favor of thinking about what the conversation could have been. And with Oswin having talked to both my mom and dad, I had a lot of questions for him. Look, you know what's coming, so I'll throw you a bone. Next full moon isn't tonight, so relax. What am I meant to do about it? Tyson, he was in Orlando. Don't ask me, I'm just a rat. You know what? Tell me something. Why do you give up so easily about why I can talk way back? Why do you give up so easy about why I can talk way back when? Same as why I didn't question Roswell. Seemed impolite to ask why you could talk when. Why wouldn't you be able to talk? Rats can't talk, but you're standing right here. I pocketed the license to free up my hands before I forgot, frowning. Which means either rats can talk, or you're not a rat, right? Do you know the role of a lab rat, Junior? They aren't born as incidentally as normal kids, no. They're made. Careful genetic work, so they're always in the same constant spread of data to test on, yeah? White, pure white, like the coats of the scientists that use them on and toss them away. But you're not white. That's right. I'm different. Idea was the same, made different though. But anything like those other rats wouldn't cut it. Hell, you sure you're even talking to me? What does that even mean? I watched as he wandered over to the large vault door, and casually leaned against it. Fact is, I can't die because I was never alive. Can't be a god of death if I'm part of the system, can I? But you've been a part of that very system. How many times now? I've gone and lost count. I don't understand. What are you? Deus Ex Machina. I am the god in the machine. I am the Volts. Huh. I'm thinking about this too hard. So Oswin was like, he mentioned that what was inside of the vault was a cure, right? So this makes sense, I guess. Like, if they experimented on, if he used like experimentations on the rat, and like, I guess like, in theory, could be a cure for thing like his blood or something. I don't know. And but why would he say it's behind the vaults if he introduced you to Thanatos and he's out of the vault and like Dave is aware that Thanatos is like just out of the vault because whatever. I mean, I guess that's a cool twist if true. I mean, I do take like a lot of what Thanatos says with a grain of salt because he's kind of a lot. You know what I mean? The declaration fell into silence as I wasn't exactly sure how to respond. What, no fanfare? Fine, Killjoy. But how can you be the Volt? You're just that... I gestured at the panel I've been messing with and then at him and back once more. Yeah. Think of it this way. I'm like the governing system behind how it all works. Yeah. Oh, so see that... Wait. I kind of took that as like he was the thing in the vault, but if I guess, I mean that would make sense why he would. Yeah, but how? I'm so like he's a living organism. I'll let him explain. Why am I thinking about this? Like the game will explain, so I shouldn't have to worry about it. The governing system behind how it all works. Yeah, this just lets me get around and talk. But what about the jammer? There isn't any wire attached to you. My rat cage may as well be a Faraday cage. One of those jammers aren't going to knock out every signal. So I can still get around as long as I don't go too far. Oh, so he's like remote controlling the rat, essentially. That makes more sense. Okay. And this was all put together by Oswin and his sister? Keeping it simple, yeah. Gotta admit, I expected a bit more of a reaction out of you. Well, how do I know you're telling the truth? And about anything? I wasn't kidding when I said that I don't need to make stuff up. I remember everything programmed in, everything that I've seen with this body, and every interaction that happened in this room. Wait, everything? How much is everything? Everything. As long as that door stays closed, I stay online. If I'm online, I can see everything. But if you're saying you can see everything, then that door never opens. Bingo! That door hasn't opened and never will. Well, wait. I frowned, looking at Thanatos. It could have still opened, maybe. Start talking. Oswin was explaining it a couple days ago. Oswin and Roswell, I guess. But he said that it can't show you your own death. What if it's the same for you? Thanatos went to say something before stopping short, seeming to think about it deeply. You've got me there, but as far as I know, I haven't died, so my god status ain't budging. There's something else that's bothering me about this, too. What? If you really remember everything you say you do, then why do you act the way that you do towards me? If you remember every time we've met and everything like this conversation, then I don't know. Oh, that all? I just like messing with you. Wow, that's... Hey, you try reliving the same conversation multiple times every second. This just keeps things entertaining for me. So you're really not a rat. You're just a robot? Pretty much, yeah. Only one part taxidermy rat, one part exoskeleton, and one part wildly modified open source AI. So you're like the voice assistant thing on cell phones. If you remove the influence of neuroscientists, then sure. Still, Florencia was way more than just that gifted child that gave Oswin a run for his money, that's for sure. I got up, looking at the card in my hand. You said something about a full moon before, right? That's right. Not for a couple nights, so you've got time, potentially. How do I stop Tyson becoming that? Oh no. That's on you to solve. You do your own lifting. I'm just the spectator. You can't help a little? What's even your goal here, anyway? Oh yeah. What was it again? Right. It's none of your business. I helped you out. You helped me out. Simple as that. What'd I even help you out with, anyway? Guess you'll have to wait and see. Well, right. I'm going to talk to Oswin. He has answers he needs to give up. You think he's going to give you an antidote to that werewolf thing? He might. But what I really want to know is why he spoke to Mom and Dad. I want to know what he hasn't been telling me. You know the way to the lab? Yeah, I can manage. What are you planning on doing now? What do Volts even do in their spare time? Probably return to my cage to recharge the battery. If you're heading to the lab, then why don't we go together? I'd rather take the back way. Not that you can follow, but we don't need to talk. We don't need to be talking anymore. Plenty of talking you've got to do as it is. Right, well, I guess I'll see you later? Without another word, he scurried off out of the room and into the dark of the basement beyond. As for me, I took a... Wow. Brain, you can do it. I believe in you. I took one last look at my dad's license before shoving it into my pocket and following Thanatos into the basement. I approached the wall where I knew were the passage, feeling around for something like a button or a latch. In a small divot, something I could barely notice was a concealed button. No sooner I had pressed it, the wall opened up, revealing the passage beyond. It was no different traveling through the passage than the first time. It was dark, and I regret taking this trek without a flashlight. For a while, I had my hand on the wall, guiding me forward, but after finding it dusty and gross, I relied instead on having my hand stuck out in front of me. In the dark, I heard a sound come from behind me for a brief second, before I could grab my arm and throw it into the room backwards. Falling onto my rear, I grunted at the shock of stumbling. To what do I owe the pleasure, Dave? Or were you just making use of the passage for fun? No, I was trying to find you, actually. You didn't need to be so rough in handling me. Need I remind you that we have a homicidal rabbit wandering around? Hearing someone creep around outside my lab is not something I was expecting tonight. Right, sorry. To make matters worse, Thanatos has been walkabout all day, it seems. Heaven knows where he's escaped to. He's not back already? He was with you? He said he'd be coming back to the lab. I assumed he'd be back by now. Well, I'm glad that he's accounted for at least. What were you two up to? He ran into me at the vault this morning, and we just sorta, I don't know, tried to figure things out. Osmond grunted, dropping into a chair at his desk and clicking away at his computer for a while. What are you doing? Running diagnostics on the vault. Because? Just in case he's done anything to it. To himself, you mean? He froze, slowly turning towards me. Pardon? Thanatos said he was the vault, so what would he want to do to himself? Bah, I wouldn't believe a word of that rat's mouth, Dave. Just an experiment gone awry is all. Oh, okay. I wandered closer to Oswin, turned back to the computer, almost dismissing me. Tell me something, though. Why were you hiding stuff from me? To punctuate my point, I put Dad's license plate on the desk and slid it closer, once more causing him to freeze. Thanatos gave me this just before I came to find you. Why was my dad here? How do you know he hadn't lifted it from your own bags? Because right now I have no reason to doubt anything Thanatos has told me, and compared to him, you're meant to be the one we're relying on to survive. What's it meant if you can't be honest with us? So you're calling me a liar? Depends. But you sure are anything, you sure as anything haven't been entirely honest. So what part of what I've told you do you doubt now? What you're in danger? How the vault works? No, it's more. I don't know what your stake is in this. Obviously, yeah. We all want to survive this, but where do you fit into this picture? So you're pretending to be your father now, shaking me down for information? What do you mean by that? Dave, sit down. If you want to know why your father was here, I'll tell you. Not just Dad, but Mom too. Remind me to strangle that rat. No, Thanatos is cool. I don't know, I like him. Like, I was kind of wary of him when he only had, like, the one scene before. But, like, getting to know him, you know? Basically going on a date together. We went into the hedge maze, you know? Is what it is. Good luck with that. But apparently Dad was here, I guess about a year ago. Why did he come here? I should start by saying it wasn't his first time he was here. When was the time before that? A couple months, I'd say. It happened only a handful of times, but he was looking into the Noble family as part of an ongoing investigation. Then why question you instead of approaching them directly? Well, it's no secret that Memphis was here trying to buy the vault, so questioning someone... I don't even know, was I just giving Oswin the voice I was doing for Thanatos? I don't even know. So questioning someone who has done business with him in the past was his idea of a smart move. But you hadn't sold the vault to him. Evidence of which you can see if he's still here. No. So what did my dad want from the start? What did my dad want from me then? We made a trade. Although neither of us liked it from the, if I'm being frank. Go on. I showed him the vault, and much like any reasonable person, scoffed at the idea that a machine like that could work. So he was programmed in as a user. Did he see something in it? He did. But you're not going to like if I told you what it was. I want to know anyway. He sighed out, shaking his head. While not in the same vein as what Orlando saw, it was much the same. He saw his precious son die and refused to believe it. He saw me die? How? What happened? Thanatos would have been the one to ask, but given you just end up asking him anyway, now that you know, it was a shootout. At least that's what he assumed, what he surmised from what he saw. Was I shot? Accidentally, I would hope but who really knows? It was enough to spook your father and break his resolve in pursuing Memphis, at least at first. That sounds like Dad, or at least that I remember him, not wanting to back down even if he had to take a break from something if it goes wrong at first. So, on another visit, he came back. Asked me what we could do to change what was happening, if he still wanted to bring Memphis in. Well, that didn't work. Dad's dead now, and as far as I know, Memphis wasn't caught. Orlando would have said something if his dad was behind bars, right? You think that he'd say his dad was in jail when he was already not overly keen on sharing what his family's history was? No, I guess not. So I guess what I'm scared to ask is why your dad came here the night he died, no? I nodded slowly, bracing myself in the chair I'd found myself in. The unfortunate truth of it all was that he was certain he was going to die. He made the decision to go confront Memphis on his own, and well, he never came home. And I'm sorry for that, Dave. I whined, running my hands through my fur on my face, trying to shake off the emotions threatening to run rampant through my head. I had to focus, if only because I was half done. And so, after that, Mom came. That's right. After a while, your mom, Carol Holloway. came to my door late one night. It was raining, and she was a mess. Bawling her eyes out, even in the rain, was making a good cover for it. Why'd she arrive? Had you met before? A couple of times, butted head a few times over philosophical differences in our approach to medicine. Which meant you met Mom before you lost your license. And a couple of times after. Your mom is bright if very abrasive. Even beyond what you'd expect from those working on the front lines of the ICU. And as for why? She somehow found out that I had been talking with David. Had heard about from my work, and much like Memphis, assumed it was some sort of miracle time machine that could bring her husband back. I don't believe you. My mom didn't cry over Dad dying. She just didn't. I assure you that she did. Cried herself to sleep, begging for me to bring him back. Then the following morning thanked me for my time and left a stone face as I imagine you remember her. That sounds like you didn't help her at all. Well, the vault isn't a time machine. All I could do was disclose what I knew and hope that it helped put her mind at ease. After all, David's decision to do what he did was his own. I merely allowed him to have the option. I hung limp in my chair, trying to process it all. Dad was here and died trying to take down a crime boss, and stopped me from dying. Mom came to try and get Dad back, and instead found out he was dead because of me. No wonder Mom has been so distant. Your mother loves you, still. Your mother still loves you, boy. Don't be all doom and gloom just because of what the vault had to do with David's passing. But she never said anything. I just assumed... Yes, well, take it from someone who's been through something of the same. After the medical trial went south, Benson saw the whole process firsthand as to how I went from a sobbing mess to a jaded husk of a boar. I'm sorry, I don't know what to make of this. I kept these things from you for a few reasons. Primarily because I'd said that I'd spoken to your parents before. What would you say? I'd have probably clung to you for information about Dad if it was before. Well, my friends cornered me and got me to explain what happened. Perhaps. Or you'd think worse of me for relaying these things through the radio in your room. Some mysterious figure saying they knew your parents. David's goal was to keep you out of danger, not thrust you into the situation to be recklessly in. Right. Are you satisfied? My dad really just left his license behind? It seems strange that that's all he'd leave behind. My assumption is that Thanatos had lifted it from his wallet at some point. Beyond that, I don't really know. I only discovered it after he'd left. Okay. Oh, before I forget. He leaned back from his computer and looked me over. Did you get to the vault? Did you get the vault to work before coming to see me? I nodded slowly, remembering that I still had that to deal with. Yeah, no different from the other times beyond the whole thing feeling stronger somehow. Beyond that, any lasting symptoms? Fatigue, headache, nausea? Nothing beyond what's normal anyway, I think. Very well. What did you see? Tyson. It's going to be Tyson next, during the full moon. So we have a couple of days breathing room before the event, it seems. Was he alive, or? Yeah, he was alive, but he was attacking Orlando, so... Alright. When the full moon doesn't happen... Well, the full moon doesn't happen for a couple nights, so rather than jumping to shooting him preemptively, we have options. You wouldn't shoot him, would you? Boy, your insight can only go so far. If he's responsible for multiple deaths, then we may just not know yet. Should it come to that, I won't hesitate to put him down to minimize what threat he have on those still standing. So what should we do before then? Depends on what the password was. Werewolf. Of course it was. Well, I don't exactly believe this word. Lycanthropy? Lycanthropy. Okay. To be an actual cause, but I imagine in the moment it might have seemed that way. I say we monitor for any strange behavior and deal with it. Deal with it if we notice anything persisting. All right, got it. Should I talk to him about it now, or? Ultimately, that's your call. There is always the risk of whatever actions you take could lead to this event happening. The Vault only shows you traumatic events, so you're aware of them. It doesn't show you the actions to take to avoid them. Was there anything else? No, that's all. For now, I suppose. I sighed, pushing myself out of the chair and pocketing Dad's license, burrowing in my hand into my pocket. It's probably close to dinner time, right? Are you hungry? Not with everything going on. I just need to think. Maybe I don't know. Assuming that little bastard hasn't eaten at all. Sometimes I find breakfast is a good comfort, even if it's just sugar to process and processed wheat. You're offering me cereal to make me feel better? Is it working? I'll think about it at least. Thanks for at least hearing me out again. It's helped, maybe. Oswin stood slowly, approaching carefully before wrapping his arms around me in a hug. Probably the most awkward hug I've ever had. Oh, man. Oswin's trying. I'm now just thinking of that moment in that final Harry Potter movie where Voldemort, like, hugs Malfoy. And it's, like, the cutest thing in any of the movies. Like your villain's trying to be, like, actually comforting. I don't know. It's weird. That was a weird scene, but I like that it was there. And that's just like, would you let Oswin hug you? I'd let Oswin hug me. You're welcome. Go get some rest, Dave. He broke soon after, almost as if this whole thing was a foreign concept, and it was just making him uncomfortable. Still, the gesture helped, and I felt a little less flat as I turned to leave from the lab. Through the dark I stumbled, looking for the exit. I assumed I was heading in the right direction, but sure enough, I ended up somewhere else. Huh? I stepped out into the hallway next to the kitchen and closed the section of wall behind me, confused. Apparently there was a passage here too, probably one that Benson used to bring Oswin food. Opening the cupboards, I looked around for the cereal Oswin had mentioned, wondering if it was too close to dinner to take him up on his offer. Oh, hey! Hey, Dave! Man, it's been a while since we've seen Dean, hasn't it? Huh. What are you doing in the cupboard close to the dinner time? I missed lunch. Why? You didn't hear? You what? Did something happen? I kind of passed out and needed to sleep suddenly. I guess I was more tired than I thought. Normal people don't just pass out, Dave. Look. I'm normal. And it only happened like 3 times in my life. So it's not... Yeah. Shut up, Sal. You sure you're okay? I promise I'm fine. We'll probably take it slow for the rest of the day, is all. You mean evening? Right, that. What are you two doing in here, though? We're on dinner duty tonight. Oh, what's on the menu? People seem to be all over the place, so I was just going to do burgers. Then they can come and go as they need. Dean is alright at barbecue. Although, we're just going to use the stove. Aside from planning dinner, did you two get up and do anything today, or mostly just kept lookout? Neither of us really felt right just lounging around with Benson doing most of the work. Not that we told him what we were doing, but it's a big area to cover by yourself. Did give us some time to catch up, though. I hadn't had a proper chance to do so since arriving. Mostly due to everything going on. Oh, nothing happened? Nope, peaceful as ever. Which I don't know if that's more worrying than if we'd found something or not. In my opinion, we should be grateful for the peace we can find. To be honest, I'm looking forward to going home already. Dean patted Sal on the shoulder before moving about the kitchen, getting things ready for dinner. I took a seat while Sal and Dean figured out dinner. For the two of them, more chatty amongst themselves, and I zoned out with my own thoughts. At first, I thought I was going to fall asleep, but the sizzling and scent of cooked meat made me hungry, and I devoured the first burger Dean slid across to me faster than I thought I would. He continued cooking, while Sal cleaned up after him, and eventually, after another burger, I stumbled up to my room to collect my thoughts. Laying back on the bed, my mind was racing. Everything Oswin told me about Mom and Dad, as well as putting up with Thanatos the whole day, had me exhausted, if not worried. Thanatos seems like he was fun to hang out with, though. He's got so much personality. I love him. Drumming my fingers through my chest, I wondered if I should bring it up with Ty or not. I had to keep Orlando alive, but telling him that he was going to get mauled wasn't going to get anyone anywhere. I sat up quickly as Ty came into my room, closing the door behind him. Hey. Hey, so I want to apologize. Do you? Agoo. Are we gonna sleep together tonight? Are we gonna cuddle? You gonna hold me close while we sleep? For earlier? Yeah. How's your head, though? It still fucking hurts. I wandered closer and he dropped himself on the bed, grumbling. You passed out again, or was it just once? Just the once. I'm feeling mostly just tired now, but part of that is 'cause I've already had dinner. Shit, I thought I could smell someone cooking something. And you came and checked up on me first? Well, yeah. No. You're important to me. I shifted so I was sitting next to him and rested my hand on his shoulder. I'm looking forward to when I get to be back at home, I think. Sal said the same thing earlier, and I totally get it. Me too. We sat there for a few moments before I breathed in deep and looked up at Tyson. He was calm enough, a stark contrast to what I'd seen in the vault. What? Have I something on my face? No, just thinking. About what? Just what's been happening and what's going to be happening in the next few days, that's all. Why? What's going to happen? Hopefully nothing, but I don't know. If it does, I just want to be ready. Then I'll get a gun or something, I don't know. How will that help me be ready? You think you're gonna be able to pull the trigger if shit hits the fan? Don't worry, I've got your back. I sighed out, rubbing my eyes as Tyson stood and wandered to the door. I'm gonna get dinner. You want anything, or are you planning on sleeping? Dunno yet. I might be up, might not. Feel free to check in on me if you want to do something, though. With a nod, he was gone, and changed into something more comfortable for bed. With the reception gone, it was hard to lay back and enjoy watching videos or something to doze off on my phone. But I made do with a few games I had installed. Not to mention, remained on them for all the. Not that my attention remained on them for that long. I soon found myself plugging into the charger and rolling onto my side to get some sleep. Oh, shit. Yeah, okay. Um, so I'll save. Vitano. To be continued. Demo end. Oh my god. I've been playing this game for like a month now. Probably not actually a month. How long have I been doing the daily uploads? I don't even know. But oh my god, I'm kind of in love. Like not like that, but like I kind of love this game. It's so much fun. I do like mystery things, so it's like ooh, like I guess I'm a weirdo when it comes to mysteries because I don't actually like to try to figure out what the mystery is. I kind of just want to like experience it. Like I think it's always really interesting to see how a writer unfolds their own mystery. So yeah. Oh my god, I'm at the end of the demo. I don't know what I'm gonna do now. Like I think I'm gonna take a break from password for a bit and try another VN and then come back to this one and like I'll probably occasionally come back and do other routes for this when I'm feeling like in the mood. But yeah. Comment below what you would I guess like do you want me to immediately like jump into another route in this game? Are you okay with me moving on to another VN for a bit? Cuz I do want to hear your all of your inputs, you know. Uh I don't get comments really, so I don't know if people actually like these videos. I'm kind of just doing them for myself currently, but yeah, let me know. But until then, see you around.